Hello everyone, hoi zusammen! Today we're gonna talk about your family. So first of all, what are your family members called? So I divided things into three categories. First of all, there is always a formal version. This version you would use if you talk about your family at work, for example, or to a person you don't really know too well. And then the informal version is if you really talk to friends and people you know. And then there's also the slang version, which we just use if we are really familiar with the other person. It's a good friend or something like that. So let's start with the mother. The formal version would be Mutter. I much more often use the word mommy or mama. Mommy, mama. And of course there's a slang version. I sometimes say to my mother, Mütsch. Of course this is my dialect, Zurich dialect, which is a quite neutral dialect. So then we have the stepmother, of course. Stiefmutter, the formal version, and I would say we don't really have an informal version. We also say Stiefmutter. Father. Vater, almost like in German, Vater. Swiss German is Vater. The informal version is Papi or Papa. And there is a slang version as well, which is fetch. Fetch. Mütsch for mother, fetch for father. Then we have the stepfather, Stiefvater. Stiefvater, we don't really have an informal version. Or you could also say Stieffetch. So then we have the grandmother. So the formal version would be Großmutter, like mother, like Mutter before, or Großmami, Großmami. And now guess what could be the slang version like above, Großmütsch. Same with grandfather, Großvater, Großpapi or oh my god, gross, not gross, because I'm speaking in Swiss German. Großfetch. Then next comes sister and brother. Sister, the formal version is Schwester. Informal, you would also say Schwester. And slang, we sometimes say Schwä or Schwäs. Then the brother, Brüder, Brüder or Brütsch. So then maybe you have a daughter or a son. So daughter would be Tochter, then son is Sohn. It's quite similar to English, isn't it? Daughter, Tochter, son, Sohn. And also in German you would say Tochter und Sohn. Tochter, Sohn in Swiss German. Then we have the grandchildren. You would say, if it's your granddaughter, you would say Enkeltochter. If it's your grandson, you would say Enkelsohn. Enkelsohn. Or if you want to be really nice and informal, you can say Enkeli. Maybe you already know if we add a li, it makes things smaller. So Enkeli you can use for the grandson or for the granddaughter. And then of course we have the wife or the husband. So wife would be Ehefrau, or we don't really say Ehefrau, we more likely just say Frau. The husbands, you could say Ehemann, or again you can just say Ma. I'm sure there are a lot of slang words for that, but I'm not going to mention them here. No. So then So that's if you're married. If you're not married, you maybe want to say partner. So we also say partner, partnerin for the female version and partner for the male version. Version, can I even say version with people? I'm not sure. Or you can just say Freundin for the woman or Freund for the man. It's like friend, you know, but we use that maybe even more often than we say partner. Then we have cousins. So we write it quite similarly. We even, the male version is exactly the same, but of course we pronounce it the French way. So cousin, the female version is cousine, and the male version is cousin. Then we have the aunt, I don't know. We just have one version, which is tante. Then the uncle is Onkel. Quite similar sometimes, isn't it? Swiss German to English. So we have the niece and the nephew. Niece is Nichte, nephew is Neffe. So similar. So, and then if you're an only child, you would say Einzelkind, because Einzel means only child. Einzelkind, Kind is child. So, for example, if you want to introduce your sister to someone, you would say, das ist meine Schwester. If you have a male person, you would say, das ist mein Bruder. Das ist mein Bruder. If you have a neuter word, like for example, Ankali is neuter in Swiss German, and mommy is neuter too. It's really strange because Mutter is female, but mommy is neuter. Don't ask me why. It's just, you just have to learn it by heart. So neuter, you would say, das ist mies mommy. Das ist mies Ankeli. So mini, mean, mies. Keep that in mind. Let me introduce you to my own family tree. So I am here. Can you see me? I'm right here in the middle. So, das ist mies Omi. Unfortunately, she is already dead. Leider ist sie schon gestorben. Das ist mein Opi. Leider ist er auch schon gestorben. Das ist mies Mami. Das ist mein Papi. Ich habe keine Schwester. I have no sister. Ich habe keine Schwester. Das ist mein Bruder. Das ist meine Tochter. Das ist mein Sohn. Okay, now, and I know you've been waiting for this. It's your task now. Your task, and please do it, because only this way you will be able to make progress. So just do what I'm gonna tell you. So now it's time for you to introduce us to your family. So here I have a few examples of sentences you could use to introduce maybe just a part of your family, maybe 2 sentences. You can pick 2 of those sentences and write the answers, your personal answer, in the comments. Now, press pause, read the sentences, pick 2 of them and write them in the comment. And I will correct them so you will be able to introduce your family perfectly in Swiss German. Now, let's do it. So, for example, in my case, I could write: Ich heiße Andrea und ich habe ein Bruder. Mein Vater ist 74 Jahre alt und heißt Fritz. Ich habe eine Tochter. Mein Mann heißt Simon und er kocht gern. Meine Großmutter ist leider schon gestorben. Ich habe ganz wenig Cousins. So I really hope this was useful to you, and I mean, you could show it to me by giving me a thumbs up, or even better, by subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. Also, if you would like to have all the written material of this lesson just as a file to download, become a Patreon member, because there you will be able to download all the written material from all my lessons. So, thank you very much, and off to the next lesson? Yes? Okay, see you there. Tschüss!